Morning and welcome to Gardening 365 44. You probably noticed I'm not out in the garden yet, and the reason why I've just been for my COVID vaccination. But very soon I'll be back after I've waited 15 minutes and I'll be out in the garden. Back now, and anybody that's worried about having a jab, don't worry, it is absolutely nothing. Back and enjoy myself in the garden. And what am I going to be doing first? Tea bags make great compost, and believe it or not, although they're brown in colour, they're greens. Now the paper that's around them, some manufacturers still use plastic, and if you're not sure you can ask the company that supply them. These are paper, but what I'm going to do is remove the paper because I want to just get the tea leaves from there for a project that I'm doing sort of next month. I'm going to be starting, so watch your space with what I'm going to be doing with the tea bags. But I'm going to break the bags open and just get the tea leaves out. And 3 very early tomatoes out in the greenhouse. Now, they won't survive like that, they need a little bit of heat, and even with a little bit of heat I am risking it a little bit, but well, I am a risk taker when it comes to gardening. They will require quite a substantial watering now to really get them established. Now, any of you watched any of my Garden 365 videos, especially the recent ones, you'll know how precious this is to me. This is my bird of paradise. I'm just going to pot it up into a slightly bigger pot. And like I forecast, the potato is popping through the surface, which is great. So I'll cover that up with a bit more soil, and hopefully it'll be breaking through the surface this time next week. My little early carrots, they're looking great, so pleased with them. Put a bit of water on them shortly. And Claire's just created me a little microclimate greenhouse for the tomatoes and the cucumbers. Hopefully they'll be okay in there, and if they aren't, remember I said I'm a risk taker. I'm not. I've got a few that I'm going to take back in the house as well, so if those don't make it, I've got some to take over for them. Another tomato, the bird of paradise, which was bursting out of the soil. It needed repotting, and that pot is barely big enough for it now, but it'll be alright. And another cucumber to take it back into the house. 2 of my shallots are caught now, so pleased with that. So I'll be planting these up very shortly. Not just them, some of the others. I said how quick last week it was to plant potatoes. This week I'm going to be planting shallots and see how long they take. Remember, the soil's really light, and that makes a massive difference to the speed of everything you're doing. Done. Very late in the year, last year, I sowed some spring onions in what I called my sort of salad bowl area. That's how big they are at the moment. Not really big enough to eat, but what I'm going to do with them is move them, okay, and hopefully they can grow into big onions. So an opportunity. So I got the cucumber in as well. As we saw, Claire made the little inner greenhouse, and what I'm going to do tonight is I've got a little tea light on 2 little things there. I'm going to light that tea light just before I go to bed and put a terracotta pot over the top, and hopefully that'll be enough warmth to keep those tomatoes warm overnight. We'll see. And to test the theory, I've got a thermometer, so just before I come down to light it, I'll check what that temperature is, and then I'll check what the temperature is tomorrow to see if that tea light does anything. I'm hoping it'll just keep it warm enough. So what have I managed today? Potted out some lettuce and some red cabbage, and also in these 3 trays I've got onion sets that there's not enough room in the garden for them at the moment, so I'll start them in there and put them in the garden whenever I got chance. Tomatoes we know about. Put a little bit more soil on the potatoes, second lot that I put in, and put some soil on the first lot that I did. Peas are now starting to come up pretty good, so I'm happy with them. Exhibition onions looking good. Lettuce looking good, that good that I've potted some up. Over here we got some kale. I put some kale now, potted that out. At the back there I've got some calabrese and cauliflower, which I don't think, oh, the cauliflower coming up as well. Yeah, good, so that's good. Right at the very end, my Pak Choi are coming up. Can't see any Kohl Rabi coming through yet. The broad beans are looking great. My tea is drying in the greenhouse. Done a couple of loads of soil preparation. I'll show you that when I get out into the garden. Done 1 or 2 little dry runs of the IPC. It's got to be 2 blocks higher, by the way, to get the watering can underneath. So that's going to be a job for Easter. Not yet. Easter, I'm going to leave that one till. Believe it or not, I've watered quite a few plants and I've used half a tub of water. Incredible. Already at this time of the year, that much water use. Hence why we've got the IBC. Raised bed 3. I've planted 4 rows of shallots and 6 rows of onions. So looking forward to them. We love our onions and shallots. Finally finished off raised bed 2. So I'm really pleased with that. And raised bed 1, transplanted the spring onions out to see how they'll go. I've never done it before, but we'll see how they go. I could have some amazing onions because of them, so we'll see how it goes. And what else? My football team, Shrewsbury Town, have just got a draw with Hull City, who are top of the league, and I had my jab earlier. So overall, a pretty successful day. Now I'm going to go in to see what cider effects I have. There's a joke there, cider effects from my jab. Okay, have a good evening and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye. And then after that, all I'm going to do is place the flower pot on the top. I've lit the gas fire too. That'll go back onto frost protection mode very shortly, so the big flames will die down. And continuing with our bug theme, what's this? Now this one isn't as obvious as it looks. I know what it looks like, but this is very different to the next one I'm going to show you. So here's the next one. What's this? As you see, different from the last one. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is put the 2 side by side. So there they are, the 2 side by side. If you notice, the one's smaller, very red, extremely red. And the other one is sort of more pinky. Okay, you do get different varieties of both these type of. Oh, I almost said it, can't say. Well, as usual, I'm doing soil preparation. I wonder what Claire's doing.
Roses that I took cuttings of last year, stuck in this pot if you remember. Well, some of them I think I've taken, some haven't, but I'm just starting, so I'll not bother with that one. We'll see what we've got. And there we are. Lost that off accidentally, but no matter. And we have them just growing roots like such. So all I need to do is put it in there, give it some more fresh compost, squash it in, give her a water and put it with the rest.
And many thanks for doing that, Claire. Hopefully lots of lovely roses this year. Whether they bloom or not, I'm not sure in the first year, but fingers crossed. I'm back to soil preparation now. Now last year we had a poll to see who was the most popular gardening presenters, and the legend Monty Don came first place.
Hello.
And believe it or not, I came third. And thanks very much for this award for the 3rd most popular gardening presenter of all time. And we're not even going to mention who came in second. But what's a big difference between Monty Don and me? Now the big difference is when I've got excess produce or plants, I will offer them to 3 to our members. Okay, and I've done a few of these recently, so you're more than welcome to take up the offer. All you need to do is drive up to ours, pick them up, and you know they're yours. Still got a number of strawberries, chives, some apple mint and some traditional mint. Some black currants and red currants cuttings. They're not ready yet, so I can't release them yet, but if you let me know, I will save 1 or 2 for you and you can come pick them up in a month or 2. Okay, so let me know about them. Well, the good news is the strawberries have sold out, but I was giving them all away free, so I don't know if they sold out. Well, we've just run out. We've got no more strawberries, so they've all gone to a good home. Now, we've done a lot on bugs over the last couple of weeks, and now we're on weeds. What is this weed? And is it a goodie or a baddie? I'm not so sure. In fact, I am very sure it's a baddie. What is it though? This stuff is so bad that I don't even put this in my compost bin. I just throw it straight away. That's how bad it is. You don't want any of it in your garden whatsoever. God, I can't believe that. I covered it up yesterday and the potatoes coming back through. That's how quick they grow now. I'm just going to check what's growing underneath the cover. I wonder. So it's me black and red currants, and underneath, oh, you've got a mini enjoying the sun. Well happy, as we all are in this beautiful early spring weather. Well, that's pretty much it for me today. Give the strawberries another watering, but I've also managed to fill raised bed 5 with soil ready for Claire's cut flowers whenever she puts them in. So that's done now. Still got the mint and the chives to sort out. Had some response off those today, so that's good. Put one extra kale in there, so that's it for that bed now. I haven't got to deal with that, so that's the start of my brassica bed. And as soon as the lettuce are done, they'll come out and I'll replace them with other brassicas. I haven't shown you this for a while. This is my blueberry, all coming out. Not only this one this year, I've got 5 other ones, so really impressed with blueberries. Currants in their new home, they all seem to be doing well. As I say, I have got some black and red currants to give away, but they just need a little bit longer yet. But they were cuttings I took from last year. Last few leeks from last year, looking good. And we'll be pulling them out bit by bit for Sunday dinners and whatever else. Onions all put in now. Probably find some space to put some other onions in. And my garlic at the end, that's doing well. The potatoes that I put in last week, I've just going to give them a little bit of water, possibly to kickstart them. I don't want them growing too quick actually because of the frost, but they're in now, and I'll be putting another row in this time next week. The kale that's done so well, it's got limited life now, because when the potatoes come down every 2 weeks and I hit them, I'll have to take them out, even though they're still producing great kale. I might try and dig them up and put them somewhere else for a while, because they are still fantastic. The spring onions that I put in yesterday, give them another soaking of water, because I really want them to settle in. Really pleased with them, by the way, and hopefully they'll mature into bigger spring onions, or even I'm going to let some grow into be some whopper onions. Compost watch. Now, in each one of those, I've worked it out, it's the size of a builder's bag, maybe even slightly bigger. And if what builder's bag was full, it's about 0.8 of a ton. I've used 2 complete pods now, so I've used about 1.5 ton of homemade compost this year so far, and I've possibly got another 1.5 ton to go. Isn't that incredible? And people always thought I was silly making 4 compost bins. Now you know why. Well, that's just about it. Now, my weekend started having my COVID jab, and there was talks of cider effects, and the only cider I've had is Magners. Only joking. So that's it for this week. Next week, Gardening 365 45. So please look in for that one as well. What else am I going to tell you? 930 plus Facebook members so far. Fantastic. Keep inviting your friends. YouTube site's doing a little bit better recently, so we've got a few people on that, a few more subscribing, but I would like a lot more. And apart from that, have a great week. Okay, and I'll see you this time next week. What a great weekend. Superb. See you all soon. Bye.